Imagine this. It's a typical busy night at a small-town diner. The smell of fresh coffee fills the air, and the soft hum of conversation blends with the clatter of dishes. Waitresses rush from table to table, trying to keep up with orders. One of them is Lucy, a young woman in her mid-20s, juggling plates and drink refills with a tired smile. She's been working at the diner for almost 3 years now, ever since she dropped out of college to help her mom pay the bills. Every day feels like a grind, but Lucy keeps going because she has to. It's not just about the tips or the paycheck. It's about surviving. Tonight, something feels a little different. Lucy notices a family sitting in the corner booth. A mom, dad, and their 2 kids. The parents look stressed, their faces tight with worry, as they try to distract their kids with crayons and small talk. Lucy has seen this before. Families, on the edge, trying to keep it together. She knows that look all too well. She grew up with it. But something about this family tugs at her heart. As the night goes on, Lucy checks on them, making sure they have everything they need. When it's time for the bill, the father hands her a card, looking nervous. Lucy swipes it, but the screen flashes, declined. She tries again, same thing. The man's face falls, and his wife's eyes fill with embarrassment. They start to whisper, trying to figure out what to do. Their kids now growing restless. Lucy's stomach tightens. She knows this feeling, the dread of not being able to pay. It's humiliating, and it sticks with you. Without thinking twice, she makes a decision. She quietly tells them not to worry about the bill, that she'll take care of it. The father's eyes widen in shock, and the mother tries to protest, but Lucy insists. She tells them it's no big deal, and the family leaves the diner with tears of gratitude in their eyes, promising to come back and pay her back someday. What Lucy doesn't know is that this small act of kindness is about to change her life in a way she never could have imagined. She finishes her shift that night, tired but feeling a little lighter, knowing she helped someone in need. She doesn't expect anything in return. To her, it was just the right thing to do. But the next morning, something strange happens. Lucy walks into the diner for her usual shift, and her manager pulls her aside. There's someone here to see her, someone important. Lucy's heart skips a beat. Did something go wrong? Is she in trouble? As she steps out of the kitchen, a man in a sharp suit walks up to her with a smile. She doesn't recognize him, but there's something about his presence that fills the room. He introduces himself as the CEO of a major company, the father. From last night, Lucy's breath catches in her throat, and then he says something that leaves her completely speechless. Lucy stood there, frozen, as the man introduced himself again, this time more fully. He was the CEO of a large tech company, someone who could walk into any room and instantly command attention. But here he was, in her small-town diner, talking to her. She could hardly believe it. He smiled warmly, no longer the stressed father from the night before. "I don't know if you remember me," he said, "but my family was here last night. You did something incredible, and I wanted to thank you in person." Lucy's mind raced. She remembered him clearly, but she never expected this. CEOs don't just show up at diners to thank people, right? "Oh, it was nothing," Lucy said, feeling embarrassed. "Really, I just wanted to help." The man's expression softened. "It wasn't nothing. What you did, it meant the world to my family. You see, we've been going through a rough time, and that night, I just couldn't believe the kindness you showed us. I wanted to do something for you in return." Lucy felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had grown used to keeping her head down, working long shifts, and barely scraping by. The idea that someone, let alone a CEO, wanted to repay her kindness Didn't even seem real. She shrugged, trying to downplay her actions. I didn't do it for anything in return. I've been in that situation before, and I know how hard it can be. The CEO nodded, his eyes filled with understanding. That's exactly why I wanted to help. You didn't ask for anything, but I believe that people like you deserve more than what life has given them. He paused for a moment, as if choosing his next words carefully. I have a proposition for you. Lucy's heart started to pound. A proposition. She wasn't sure what that meant, but she couldn't deny the curiosity bubbling inside her. What do you mean? She asked cautiously. The man glanced around the diner, then leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. I know you've been struggling here. I can see it in your eyes, in the way you work so hard without expecting anything in return. I used to be like you, believe it or not. I didn't come from money. I had to fight my way up, just like you're doing now. Lucy was speechless. She hadn't told anyone about her struggles. She had kept it all bottled up, the late nights, the constant worrying about bills, her mom's health, everything. How could he possibly know? He continued, what if I told you that I could offer you something more? Something that could change your life. He pulled out a business card from his jacket and handed it to her. I'm opening a new branch of my company in the city. We're looking for people with heart, people who care, people like you. Lucy stared at the card, her mind spinning. This couldn't be real, could it? She wasn't qualified for anything like this. She had dropped out of college and had no experience outside of the diner. She was just a waitress, right? I don't understand, Lucy stammered. Why me? I'm not anyone special. The CEO's smile never wavered. That's where you're wrong, Lucy. You have something you can't teach. Compassion. I believe in you. I want to give you a chance. Lucy's heart was racing now. This was everything she had dreamed of. A way out, a new beginning. But fear gripped her. What if she failed? What if she wasn't good enough? She couldn't just leave her mom behind, could she? As if reading her mind, the CEO spoke again. I know it's a lot to think about. I'm not asking for an answer right away. Take some time. Talk to your family. But I believe this could be the opportunity you've been waiting for. Lucy nodded slowly, clutching the business card like a lifeline. This was all too much. Her mind raced with a million questions, doubts, and fears. She didn't know what to say, so she just whispered, "Thank you." The CEO gave her a reassuring nod before turning to leave. As he walked out of the diner, Lucy stood there, still in shock. Her manager walked over. Confusion etched on his face. What just happened? He asked, but Lucy didn't have an answer. Over the next few days, Lucy's mind was consumed by the offer. She couldn't focus on her shifts. Her mom noticed the change in her too. Lucy, are you okay? Her mom asked one night as they sat at the kitchen table, bills spread out between them. Lucy hesitated, unsure of how to bring it up. Something happened at work, she said, her voice shaky. A man, a CEO, he offered me a job. Something completely different. He thinks I can do more than just work at the diner. Her mom's face softened with concern and pride. Oh, honey, that's amazing. But are you sure it's what you want? I don't want you to feel pressured into anything. Lucy sighed, rubbing her temples. I don't know, Mom. It sounds too good to be true. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? Her mom reached across the table, taking her hand. Lucy, you've been taking care of me, working yourself to the bone. If anyone deserves a break, it's you. Don't be afraid to take this chance. Lucy couldn't believe what she had just done. She had made the call, committed to the opportunity that both excited and terrified her. After the phone call, she was given a start date and details about the new job, but she still couldn't shake the lingering fear in her gut. Was she really ready for this? Could she leave the only life she'd ever known to step into something so uncertain? The following days moved quickly. She gave her 2 weeks' notice at the diner. Her co-workers were shocked, but supportive, congratulating her on what sounded like a dream opportunity. Lucy was flooded with mixed emotions. Sadness about leaving, the familiar, but also a flicker of hope for what was to come. Her mom was proud, of course, constantly reassuring her that she had made the right choice. Finally, the day came. Lucy stood in front of the sleek office building, her heart racing. This was it, her new beginning. She had spent so many years serving food, rushing around that diner with tired feet, wondering if she would ever have a chance to change her life. And now, here it was, right in front of her. Walking inside, everything felt surreal. The CEO greeted her personally and introduced her to the team. They didn't see her as a waitress who had struggled to make ends meet. They saw her as someone valuable, someone who had the potential to grow and contribute. It was overwhelming, but in the best way possible. As the days turned into weeks, Lucy found herself growing into her new role. The company wasn't just a place to work. It was a place where she was learning and being challenged in ways she never expected. Her background, her kindness, and her ability to connect with people became her strengths. She wasn't just another employee. She became a key player in the company's community outreach efforts. Her story of helping that family in the diner was what had brought her here, and now she was helping create programs to give back to other families in need. But the real turning point came when the CEO called Lucy into his office one afternoon. She thought it was just another check-in, but the look on his face told her this was something bigger. "We've been watching your work closely, Lucy," he said, sitting behind his desk. "And I want you to know you've exceeded every expectation. Your dedication, your heart for people. It's exactly what we need more of in this company." Lucy felt a lump in her throat. "Thank you," she said quietly, not sure what else to say. The CEO leaned forward, his eyes filled with sincerity. "I want to offer you a promotion, a leadership role in our new initiative. It's a big step, but I believe you're the right person for it. You've shown me, time and again, that you're more than capable." Lucy's breath caught in her chest. A promotion? Already? It felt like only yesterday she was waiting tables at the diner, doubting herself. Now, she was being given the chance to lead, something she never thought possible. After a long pause, she finally spoke, her voice shaky with emotion. "I don't know what to say. This is more than I ever imagined." The CEO smiled. "You earned it. You didn't just change your life. You're helping change the lives of so many others." In that moment, Lucy realized something important. This wasn't just about a job, or money, or status. It was about making a difference, about using the struggles she had gone through to help others in ways she never could have predicted. Her journey from a struggling waitress to someone with the power to create change wasn't a straight line, but every twist and turn had led her to this point. She accepted the promotion, and with it, a new sense of purpose. Lucy wasn't just surviving anymore. She was thriving, and that, more than anything, was the greatest reward. As the months passed, Lucy continued to excel in her new role. She made lasting connections with people, inspired her colleagues, and helped the company launch initiatives that reached far beyond the walls of the office. She knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be. Looking back, she could hardly believe how much her life had changed, all because of one small act of kindness. That moment in the diner, when she chose to help a family in need, had set off a chain reaction that led to this new chapter of her life. She had no idea that one decision would ripple out in ways she couldn't foresee. But the most important, Lesson Lucy learned through it all. It wasn't about where you started. It was about where you were willing to go. And with every challenge she faced, she knew she had the strength to overcome it, just like she had before. Her story wasn't just about success. It was about believing in herself and how the smallest act of kindness could change everything.